Namaste, my dear friends. In the last class, we referred by discussing elaboratively tax deducted at source, and also we referred and highlighted to some extent tax collected at source. Now I am highlighting here tax collected at source, where the amended provision, as you are aware of that, e-commerce operator only liable for TCS, and he has to have the registration in addition to his normal registration. He has to obtain separate registration. Application for registration form GST REG 07. Same application for registration for a TDS registration or TCS registration. Application for registration form GST REG 07. Of course, they have to make the payment. TCS should be make the payment by 10th of the following month by filing form GSTR 8. Delay happen, liable to pay interest at the rate of 18% per annum, and also late filing often penalty. Dear friends, now I am going to bring to notice a comprehensive problem, mean to say amended provision with regard to e-commerce operator for depositing of TCS. Here, there is a circular number 194 dated 17th July 2023 under the central tax. Clarification on TCS liability under section 52 in case of multiple e-commerce operator in one transaction. Multiple e-commerce operators in one transaction. One can visualize this transaction basically in case of open network for digital commerce. It is a Government of India initiative, open network for digital commerce. In that open network platform, any e-commerce operator entered and have the registration. It brings opportunity even if a small trader to get demand for the product by competing with MNC companies. Open network for digital commerce, Government of India platform, where Government of India initiating and insisting, recommending, hey, e-commerce operators, all of you come and have a registration here, where a particular customer want to buy a product or receive the services, he can compare the various type of suppliers whose price list, and finally he can decide which one he wanted to purchase or which one he wanted to select as their supplier of service. A competition, open competition. Suppose, for example, a multinational company product price is, let us say, for example, a particular SD card, storage, data storage, SD card, the price is 20,000. I have come across sometimes before when I refer the particular website, they are telling the same configuration 20,000 rupees the SSD card, which is 1 terabyte high speed write and read. And the same product, my dear, same configuration, same company product in the another platform of e-commerce operator, I have come across 14,500. See how much difference it is. 5,500 rupees different. Same product. Then as a customer, I have the liberty to buy by comparing the prices, and which is economical for me, I can purchase. So ultimate benefit to the customer. At the same time, the person who coming and selling the product through e-commerce operator whose registration is available in the open network for digital commerce, then a customer need not want to browse this website, that website separately. In one place, he can able to look, okay, I came to know so and so SSD card, SSD memory card, SD card, which is price in one particular electronic platform, one particular seller selling at rupees 20,000. Then immediately I can compare that price with in the same network portal. I can refer the another e-commerce operator selling at 14,500. Then I can select from that e-commerce operator that particular product at 14,500, though I have not registered over that particular e-commerce operator portal. What do you mean this? Meaning thereby, as a customer, as a buyer of the goods, I have registered in Flipkart. Flipkart is one of the e-commerce operator. I registered there. When I open this particular open network for digital commerce platform, there when I am browsing, the product price 20,000. A seller who is selling the product in through Flipkart, the price is 20,000. Okay. In Flipkart, I registered to purchase my product because I had to register. No, I had to log in ID, password should be provided. So I got registered in the Flipkart to buy a product, but price rupees 20,000 for the given product. Now, in the open network for digital commerce, I saw one more e-commerce operator, Amazon, through which seller selling the same product 14,500. Now, this customer who got registered in the Flipkart e-commerce operator can purchase the product from Amazon, where the seller selling the product through Amazon e-commerce operator. That product can purchase by this customer without having further registration in the Amazon. That means a customer having a registration with one e-commerce operator. I'm a buyer, e-commerce operator. Buyer e-commerce operator who is here? Buyer e-commerce operator is a Flipkart. Now that buyer not buying the Flipkart in the open network for digital commerce, he came to know the price matching where Amazon e-commerce operator, seller, he is selling through his commerce operator. Repeating again, seller selling through his e-commerce operator. Seller e-commerce operator Amazon. Buyer e-commerce operator Flipkart. You get my point. The buyer got registered in Flipkart, then he is buying the product of the seller who sells the goods to e-commerce operator, who is Amazon. So, buyer of a Flipkart buying product of the seller of Amazon. As a result, what happened here? There are two e-commerce operators which are playing their role in the open network for digital commerce, open network for digital commerce. In that platform, government platform, the two e-commerce operator came into force here. One is buyer e-commerce operator. Who is the buyer e-commerce operator? Flipkart. Seller e-commerce operator is Amazon. So buyer e-commerce operator were facilitating to buy the product from seller e-commerce operator, namely Amazon, without having any registration in the Amazon network portal by the buyer. And payment should be through UPI. The payment is through UPI to encourage the digital payment concept, to encourage the cashless transactions. The government of India initiated open network for digital commerce. In that, multiple e-commerce operator, one transaction only, one buyer only, one seller only, but two e-commerce operator. Seller e-commerce operator, Amazon. Buyer e-commerce operator, Flipkart. Buyer got registered in the e-commerce operator of Flipkart, buying the product which is available in the Amazon e-commerce operator, Amazon. In that Amazon network portal, product is available, seller product is available, and can buy it without making further registration in the Amazon. That means to say that two e-commerce operators are involved in one transaction, which is multiple e-commerce operators for one transaction. Now coming to the point. So far I explained to you the case scenario in which circumstances multiple e-commerce operators are going to come into picture, where it is in the open network for digital commerce electronic platform of the government, where the various e-commerce operators are registering their names and all, and they are ready to buy, ready to sell. Now, if that is you understand, first and foremost, clarification of the CBSE. Why? Now, seller e-commerce operator, in our given example, Amazon. Buyer e-commerce operator, in our given example, Flipkart. And this particular two or more e-commerce operators are involved in the open network for digital commerce electronic platform of the government of India. If that is the case, who is responsible to collect TCS? Seller e-commerce operator or buyer e-commerce operator? Both of them e-commerce operators. E-commerce operator liable for TCS. Which e-commerce operator is liable to collect TCS? In the given case, this issue number one. What is the issue number one? In a situation where multiple e-commerce operators are involved in a single transaction of supply of goods or services or both through e-commerce operator platform, and where the supplier side e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier in the said supply, and see here, supplier side e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier in the said supply, who is liable to compliance under section 52, including the collection of TCS. Very simple. This para I will present in such a manner that you won't forget even after you qualify also. Take into granted my side. I said in the last class, lollipop presentation, complicated area. Here, dear friends, I am talking about this issue one, where seller e-commerce operator himself is not the seller. What is this? Seller e-commerce operator himself is not a seller. Means company X product selling Amazon. Amazon not selling the Amazon product. No, you can come across in the website of Amazon e-commerce operator, Amazon products are there, their own products are there. But they are not selling their own product here. In given example, issue 1, selling X company product. X company is a seller selling his goods through his e-commerce operator, namely Amazon. Therefore, I said e-commerce operator who sells goods himself, not the seller. Who is the seller? X company. Who is the e-commerce operator? Amazon. Amazon called as seller e-commerce operator. Now, I am the buyer. My name is, let us say, Chandran. I am Mr. Chandran. Mr. Chandran is got registered in the Flipkart to buy a product, but the product available in the Flipkart very expensive when I compare with the Amazon product. But in the Amazon I have not registered. Even without having registration in Amazon, a person who registered in Flipkart, being a buyer, can purchase the product from the Amazon by making the payment without having registration in Amazon. As a result, buyer e-commerce operator Flipkart, in the two e-commerce operators involved in one transaction, who is liable to collect TCS? The clarification given by the CBIC in this circular number 194 dated 17 July 2023, which is applicable for our exam of May 2024 onwards. In the given case, seller e-commerce operator who is not seller by himself is liable to collect TCS and deposit to department. Seller e-commerce operator who himself is not the seller is a person required to collect that TCS and deposit. Why? Because Amazon wala, when sell the product of X company, payment going to make to X company by Amazon. So, when the payment is going to make to seller, the e-commerce operator should deduct the TCS on the net value. You know net value. Supplies less returns for the given seller. Given seller supplies less returns. The balance value, net value, on which 1% of TCS, which is interest rate 0.5% CGST, 0.5% of SGST. And the balance amount can be made. Of course, the e-commerce operator Amazon, when going to make the balance payment, he also will deduct what? His commission as e-commerce operator. But when you charge 1% on the net value means, we understand net value here means, in the given example, very clearly presented by saying that this is net value. What is net value? Aggregate supply of goods and services, which is taxable goods only. Exempted goods, exempt services, no TCS. So taxable goods, taxable services supplied, less aggregate returns. The balance value. Of course, this is 9555 does not comes into picture for TDS purpose, TCS purpose. TCS does not arise here. TCS does not arise because in the given case, e-commerce operator liable to pay full amount of GST. Now, in that case, only I can able to consider that the value of this, the value of the total supply of taxable supply less the returns, the balance net value on which you apply TCS at the rate of 1% you have to apply. And when going to remit the payment, e-commerce operator will also collect his commission, obviously, and the balance amount going to back to X company. In the given case, Amazon going to make the payment to X company. Therefore, Amazon is liable for TCS, not the Flipkart in the first case. How to understand this, sir? I am going to bring the notice. Excellent problem is as follows. Here. Yes. Very good question you asked, my dear. In front of you, this is a lollipop example to address your query. Shall I proceed? Yeah. Sir, if you come to Rafi sir class, I will take into my heart, my students are my strength. I will play in such a manner that even after qualify, you get motivated to practice in the indirect taxes. To that extent, I will go and represent. Not that, sir, your crash course, sir. Crash course, okay. You should not be crash the subject, nah. Try to understand. So I will justify. And you got a golden opportunity. Now the examination is postponed, confirmed by the institute. One of our friends sent to me the letter yesterday dated 16th, saying that institute is confirmed to postpone election because of election, postpone the examination. Election is coming exactly midway of our May examination, May to June. Therefore, institute said we are going to be reschedule our class, our examination timetable to the subsequent dates will be announced. Only the thing is, the institute will take the into account because availability of the premises, infrastructure is also required. No. Therefore, some of the schools which are providing their classroom for exam center, they may not be able to provide subsequently because of their own commencement of the academic years and all. Therefore, the institute is considering the availability of the infrastructure followed by the dates to be conducted examination. Minimum 1 month will be postponed, definitely, if I am not wrong. With my experience, I am telling you. So 1 month extra time also available. So study well in such a manner that 80 plus I should get in indirect taxes. Yes, you will get. Only thing is, come to the class and sit. Not physically you are coming, sitting here at your place only. That also our people are not sitting now. What I can do? If you qualified person listening this lecture, for your exclusion because you are already qualified, no need of an examination. But semi-qualifieds, many of them not turning up my classes after repeated request. So means what? You are not having the interest to qualify. If you are not having the interest to qualify, the institute also won't have any interest to permit you to become a member. Obviously, I should have to have interest to learn subject, interest to join Rafi sir class, interest to attend the Rafi sir class, interest to learn the subject of IDT, interest to qualify with highest marks. You should have that interest. If you are not having the interest, why the institute should have the interest on you to elevate as a members? The institute never do, unless you have been elevated yourself. Now also I am telling you, time is available. Exam has been postponed. It's a golden opportunity for the final students especially. Ocean of syllabuses are available. Each subject is ocean. Attend the class. Once you attend the class, very important advantage is further you are going to study even one time. You will get it, the revision. One time revision is sufficient. If you not attend the live class, only online recorded classes only you are going to be referred, that is not going to come as vibration. Relaxed you sit. Relaxed sit, what is human being nature? Relaxed sit means we will sleep. Whoever may be, including Mr. Rafi, that going to come. Lethargicness will come. Laziness will come. You won't get spirit to understand the subject. In the live class, online live class, which is equal to offline class, ask the doubt, alert. Then you can listen. Who is the other person asking the doubt? What type of doubt? She asked or he asked. You have to understand. And he or she should again ask the doubt. That is gloriousness. Goosebumps should generate in the class. That is possible only in the online live class when you sit and attend the class. Otherwise, it's up to you. Because you are final students, you yourself should be create a role model to others. If yourself having well matured knowledge, not able to turn up to the level of the expectation of the institute, is up to you. The future is in your hand. Now please come back. Presenting here this case scenario. Issue number 1. What is issue number 1? E-commerce operator. Seller e-commerce operator. Seller e-commerce operator who himself is not the seller of the goods. Seller of the e-commerce operator who is himself is not the seller. In that case, that e-commerce operator is liable to collect TCS and deposit, comply the provision. In that given case, I can also say that how many of them are involved in the given case. See here. This case, you can able to understand this. Parties involved. Supplier side e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier in the said supply. In that case, supplier means supplier of the goods or services. Supplier of the goods or services. Supplier. Supply through e-commerce operator. Amazon. Supplier side e-commerce operator. Buyer side e-commerce operator. Flipkart, one of the e-commerce operator. And buyer. Amazon supplying goods or services of somebody else, suppliers. Therefore, e-commerce operator, seller e-commerce operator, who himself is not the supplier. If so, from the buyer, payment is coming from buyer. Correct, Amma? Payment coming from buyer. Paid. The buyer e-commerce operator. Buyer paying to buyer e-commerce operator. Buyer e-commerce operator paying to seller e-commerce operator. Seller e-commerce operator paying to seller. Paid. So ultimately, which e-commerce operator is going to make the payment to the supplier of the goods or services? That e-commerce operator is liable to collect the TCS and deposit the TCS. Practically, how it works out further in the given case. Case scenario. Buyer purchases goods from seller for rupees 70,000. buyer purchasing from his e-commerce operator by paying rupees 70,000 to his e-commerce operator. Now, buyer side e-commerce operator, in our given example, Flipkart. Who is e-commerce operator? And this buyer side e-commerce operator, Flipkart, will get a commission of 5%. Flipkart will get a 5% commission. So 5% on 70,000, 3,500, which is a consideration to him. Consideration to whom? Buyer side e-commerce operator consideration. And that Flipkart going to be make that payment after that. That is 70,000 minus 3,500. Balance how much? 66,500 will make the payment to seller side e-commerce operator. Paid to seller side e-commerce operator. Now, seller side e-commerce operator, in our given example, for example, here is Amazon. Seller side e-commerce operator. Now, how much he received from the buyer side e-commerce operator? 66,500. Up to this, any doubt? Yeah, clear. So, dear friends, as you rightly understood, this amount given to Amazon, who is a seller e-commerce operator. Now, who is liable to collect TCS? Where the seller e-commerce operator himself is not the seller, supplier e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier. In that case, seller e-commerce operator or supplier e-commerce operator is liable to collect the TCS, who is going to make the payment to supplier. Now, in that case, the Amazon also provide his supply of services. No, Amazon provide his supply of services to seller or to the supplier. Therefore, Amazon getting his commission of 3%. Deduct its fee or commission, say 3%. 3% of what? 3% of the amount of 66,500 what he is received, consideration, on which 3% is ultimate consideration for the e-commerce operator. So 66,500 on which 3%, 1,995 rupees is the commission will deduct by seller e-commerce operator. Okay, seller e-commerce operator here also liable to collect the TCS because the seller e-commerce operator only going to make the payment to seller. Therefore, e-commerce operator Amazon says at the rate of 1% TCS, I am going to be collect on what value? On the total consideration, which is 70,000 net value. That means net value means supply value less returns. Returns here not there. Supply value, supply minus returns. Returns are not there. Therefore, 70,000 is a net value. On that net value, 1% of TCS, which is 700 rupees. 700 rupees will be collecting and depositing in the government account. Now, in the given scenario, the Amazon e-commerce operator of seller e-commerce operator Amazon is going to pay to seller how much means here what is the amount? 66,500 he received, and his commission, which is his consideration, which is 1,995 rupees. Thereafter TCS 700. Like that, if you this fellow TCS, the TCS is a commission. After deducting that all, which comes net amount how much here? 63,000, 63,805. Correct? 63,805 is available here also. 63,805. Paid to supplier. So, CBIC circular says, circular number 194, which says 2 or more e-commerce operators are involved in one transaction where supplier e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier. In that case, such e-commerce operator liable to collect TCS because he is the person to make the payment to supplier. Now this 700 rupees, what is collected by Amazon in the given example, seller e-commerce operator should deposit into the government account. If the transaction took place in the month of March 2024, then in that case, that particular 700 rupees should be paid by 10th of April by filing GSTR 8 return. Then that will get auto-populated in the electronic cash ledger of the supplier electronic cash ledger, auto-populating as a credit balance in the electronic cash ledger of supplier account. It is issue 1 where 2 or more e-commerce operator involved in one transaction. Supplier e-commerce operator himself is not the supplier. In that case, who makes the payment to supplier is nothing but the supplier who himself is not an e-commerce operator is liable to collect the TCS. Seller e-commerce operator, supplier e-commerce operator is liable to collect TCS and pay the TCS to department. Complying of the provisions of section 52 is applicable on Amazon. In the given case, supplier e-commerce operator. But section 52 TCS provision not applicable to Flipkart, who is also e-commerce operator. For him, this collection of TCS and deposit in the given example not applicable. Any doubt?
So I'm clear with this example. I just have a doubt in last class example. When the value of supply after returns was 30,000 and commission was 2,000. So ultimate amount payable to the payable by Amazon was 28,000. Should we consider TCS 28,000 or 30,000?
Excellent point. Excellent point. That example I have presented by taking the net value as a TCS purpose. See, here TCS provision applicable. Point number 1. TCS or net value. TCS or net value, what is going to be paid to the supplier. Now, net value, I have considered that in that even after commission. But commission is a consideration. Commission is a consideration. You please adopt and revise that example. That example in the last class we did from our workbook we did. Example I said. If that is the case, update it like this. If the commission is there, see generally what happened, this commission is going to be not get by e-commerce operator from the supplier, because e-commerce operator only making the payment. E-commerce operator will say, hey Mr. Supplier, TCS so much, my commission so much. the balance I am paying to you. That means commission retaining out of the sales realization. Supply, the consideration is what he got from the customer, from other person, e-commerce operator saying that why should I pay full amount to you and I get from you at later date, not paid. When I am going to make the payment to you, I am collecting my commission and I have to comply my provision of TCS. Therefore, TCS I am collecting from the net value and paying department. So here, e-commerce operator charge the commission on what value, that comes into picture. Now I am telling you, you please consider like this: the value of supply less returns. The balance is the net value. My commission I will charge on the net value. My TCS also will charge on the net value. Not that after deducting commission from the net value, again finding the net of net value, on which if I charge the TCS, what is going to happen means that is not a violation of any provision here, but I am complying the provision. Sir, you want TCS? I am paying the TCS. 1% on the net value, and this amount, by making the payment to department by me, it is automatically got created in the electronic credit ledger of the particular supplier account of electronic cash ledger. Therefore, there won't be any revenue loss in the given case. My approach in that given example in the last class, when I said, you rightly pointed out, appreciating your observation. Now, I am telling you, you adopt one constant approach. That constant approach is as follows: supply value, for example, sale of the goods, rupees 14,500, less returns 500, balance 14,000. The 14,000 subject to my commission, 14,000 subject to TCS 1%. You please adopt like this standard approach. I too follow that approach. Is clear? Thank you. Thank you. So you have to ask the doubt. Otherwise, what happened? Especially people who are reading the recording class lecture, people will get mad. If you ask the doubt, means I have given clarification. It is not revenue loss concept. I have complied the provisions, but only thing is on what value. The value should be correct value. The correct value I considered now is this, as per this statement, is the correct value. What is the correct value? 66,500 Amazon received as the consideration. That is subject to TCS. I mean to say, that is subject to commission, and the net value is what? Net value rupees 70,000 is subject to TCS. The net value 70,000 is the value generated from the customer. 70,000, no returns. So 70,000 is the TCS purpose. Consideration, what he got from the other e-commerce operator, 6,500, is for his commission purpose. You follow? Simplified manner. So again I am telling you, furthermore, the point here to be considered for the kind consideration here in the given case, by writing I am presenting. Here also I have not mentioned the commission deduction at all, but I am telling you further. See here, value of supply, the value of supply which is not having any commission. For example, 14,500 less returns, for example 500, the balance 14,000. 14,000 is called net. The 14,000 is nothing but the net value. 14,000 is net value. If there is a case, this 14,000 I will consider for TCS at the rate of 1% on 14,000. 14,000. equal to 140 TCS is clear. Then commission, let us say 10%. 10% on what? 10% on 14,000, which is 1,400 is the way in which I will proceed. Is final. There is also I'm going to be follow. Commission is separate, which is not to deduct from the sale proceeds to derive net value further. Net of the net value will come into picture. So that is not right approach. Therefore, I am considering as a right approach is this 1% TCS and net value. Net value is equal to supply minus returns, the balance value. You consider one method you follow. If there is a commission on net value, the further TCS or net value. In the given case, net value is 70,000 because this is the amount generated from the buyer, which is subject to TCS. 2 or more e-commerce operator involved here. In the given case, the 70,000 rupees for TCS for the seller to deduct and pay because the supplier, the e-commerce operator of the seller who himself is not a seller, therefore that fellow only is going to make the payment to supplier. Therefore, he should deposit in the department account TCS. Now clear, Amma? Further, all of you, my dear friends? Others? Yeah. So follow one method. The same method what I explained to you here and as well as here. The same method should be followed. Now come back. Amended provisions. Furthermore, sir, issue 2, circular number 194 of the central tax. What is issue 2? Where simple, in a situation where multiple e-commerce operators are involved in a single transaction of supply of goods or services or both through e-commerce operator platform, and the supplier side e-commerce operator is himself the supplier of the said supply, who is liable for compliances under section 52, including collection of TCS. Collection of TCS, not only the provision 52 and procedure to make the payment. Section 52 talks about the amount collected TCS responsible to deposit. If you collect the TCS not paid to department for a period more than 3 months from the due date is an offence. You are aware of that. So now come back. Dear friends, many occasions if you come across by visiting by logging your e-commerce operator, online marketing, you used to come across Flipkart products, Flipkart their own products, Amazon their own product. They are supplying through electronic platform. Now again, open network for digital commerce. That is main concept. In that platform only these issues will come, where multiple e-commerce operators are registered in that particular open network for digital commerce. Is a Government of India electronic platform to encourage digital payments, UPI payments, and transparency, competency to protect the MSMEs, because customer will come to know what is the price of the product of a particular MNC company product. The same product, local made, local to global concept is there. So excellent product, spare parts readily available. Our neighbor is manufacturing, price far lesser than that fellow. I can compare these prices through open network for digital commerce. In that platform I can come across. So I am basically registered where? In Flipkart to buy the product. Flipkart price is much higher. When I compare the same product, Amazon available next to in the same platform with the same product, with the same price. The same price far lesser than the computer price, or maybe same price, but this fellow giving here warranty more than the other person. One person giving warranty only 1 year, this fellow giving the warranty for 10 years, but same price, same product, same configuration, same features. Can I buy the product? Yes. Who is giving this product? Amazon. I am not a representative of Amazon, sorry. Just making the concept to present. There are excellent goods are available in the Flipkart also, far lesser price than that of the Amazon. But I am telling you, my dear friends, in the given case, as a buyer, my e-commerce operator, Flipkart, a buyer want to buy, the recipient want to receive the product or service of a Amazon. Amazon selling that product, supplying that service, owned by Amazon. Supplier side e-commerce operator himself is a supplier. In that case, two e-commerce operators. One side is a Flipkart, other side is Amazon. Who is liable to collect the TCS? Who is going to be comply the provisions of TCS is important. For that case, Flipkart, namely buyer side e-commerce operator, is liable to collect the TCS and comply the provisions of TCS. How to understand this? Simple, my dear, is as follows. Look here, my dear. This maybe it's not so clear, crystal clear, visible it is, then no problem. What I will do, I will take the help of here, presenting to you. Listen, here is a buyer. I am talking about, first of all, issue 2. There I am referring this provision. Here, buyer, Flipkart, e-commerce operator, that is buyer side e-commerce operator. Buyer side e-commerce operator. Further, here there is company called Amazon, which is e-commerce operator. Supplier side. Supplier side e-commerce operator himself is the supplier. Supplier of goods. That means goods owned by Amazon. In that case, who is liable to collect TCS? Buyer side e-commerce operator. That means here he will make the payment, paid, and he is making the payment to him. He is ultimate receiver because supplier of the goods. Supplier side e-commerce operator himself is a supplier. In that case, this is e-commerce operator, TCS, applicable. TCS applicable to buyer side e-commerce operator and comply the process of this TCS. Collect the TCS, make the payment, and before collecting, get registered by making the application from GST REG 07, and after having registration, collect the TCS and deposit by filing the GSTR 8 by 10th of the following month. If delay happen, pay interest, like that. all compliances of TCS will be on the buyer side e-commerce operator. More crystal clear with the numeric example is as follows. Issue 2. Issue 2 only I am referring. Look, this will be look like a what we can call here. The big chart. Don't get much tense. Simple, very good, beautiful presentation it is. Scenario. Supplier side e-commerce operator himself is a supplier, liable to collect the TCS, comply the provision of TCS is the buyer side e-commerce operator. He is responsible. Now, buyer purchase goods from supplier who is an e-commerce operator for rupees 80,000 given to his e-commerce operator Flipkart. Buyers pays rupees 80,000 to buyer side e-commerce operator. I will give an example, Flipkart. Fine. Who is required to take the TCS here? Buyer side e-commerce operator itself. Here, buyer side e-commerce deduct P, commission 6%. 6% on what? On rupees 80,000, 4,800. And TCS 1% is on what? On rupees 80,000, not after deducting the commission. We are following the same procedure. So 1% is TCS on 80,000, which is 800. Now 80,000 commission 4,800 TCS rupees 800. If deduct 74,400 is the net value. Correct? Correct, Amma? Check and tell me, my dear friends. 80,000 minus 4,800 minus 800. 74,400 net value. That net value of 74,400 is going to be paid to this particular e-commerce operator. Before that, here, the buyer side e-commerce operator submit the TCS. As I told you, buyer side e-commerce operator should submit TCS rupees 800 to government by complying the section 52 of the CGST. Buyer side e-commerce operator makes the payment of rupees 800 by 10th of the following month. So supplier side e-commerce operator himself is a supplier. Therefore, he will get the amount of 74,400, nothing but after deducting the commission as well as the TCS by the buyer side e-commerce operator. That's it. If you understand this, is a question one can expect in the coming exam of May 2024. But if you read the circular, you will get a mad. Buyer side e-commerce operator is liable to pay GST in the case liable to pay TCS in the case where the supplier e-commerce operator himself is the supplier. Supplier side e-commerce operator liable to pay TCS only when the supplier side e-commerce operator is not a supplier. So confusion where this particular transactions took place. First of all, where the multiple e-commerce operators comes into picture, in which category, in which area multiple e-commerce operators are going to come. One should thought of open network for digital commerce. Government of India initiative it is to meet the global requirement, local to go global. Digital India concept. Government of India is one of the motto is Digital India. See, we should appreciate the things of the government, not that we are supporting the particular party. I am not supporting the party, but supporting the goodness, supporting the improvement, supporting the development. Digital India is one of the motto of the government of India. To meet that requirement, they have been initiated. Commerce and Industry Ministry initiated. separate IT ministry is there, which is initiated. Open network for digital commerce. There, ministry said, hey, all e-commerce operator, come and get registered here. Where buyer side e-commerce operator, supplier side e-commerce operator, two e-commerce operator. So multiple e-commerce operators. In such case, this circular is providing responsibility, who is liable to collect TCS and comply the provisions of TCS is fixed by giving circular. I have given only the simplified interpretation of it to make you understand. With this, I can say that tax collected source, its amended provision, which is circular number 194 dated 17 July 2023 is completed as a whole. TSS chapter is completed.